Hey everybody, here at DJack's classroom. Sorry we couldn't go live tonight on Zoom. We have some technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi here, but this video will get the stuff out of the way that we wanted to do today. So this is for our youth program. So you guys right now are going virtual. Hopefully this pause doesn't last too long. We get back to our group training. And one of the reasons why your team isn't getting sessions right now is because we have time on our side for one. The high schoolers leave early March. We have time, normally that's a practice time for us. We're gonna finish our training in there, but also that's kind of why we went early and outside, because we kind of foresaw this happening, and we wanted to make sure. So you're still gonna get your full program in. Perfect world, this pause ends, we go start going 2 days a week after the 1st of July or 1st of January, and we'll be fine. So anyway, these are a couple of things we definitely want everybody working on these things at home, and these are things we want done kind of organization wide. So the first thing is, let me drop my bat here, is we're going to start our shoulder routine. So when when we talk about the shoulder routine, last year, we're supposed to do it when we show up to the yard and when we leave. It's something we can do multiple times a week, okay? Rotator cuff muscles are 4 muscles that wrap kind of around our shoulder different directions. They kind of make a cuff, that's why the term. But they're pretty weak, especially in younger athletes. They're pretty weak in even big, strong, mature athletes, but these muscles need to be worked often. And they get tired and they bounce back good too. So we got to make sure that we're giving them a little TLC or some movements and some activity almost every day. So we're going to start with 4 exercises that are pretty simple, and we're going to start at 10 to 13 U, which is with no weight in our hand, and we'll get eventually a baseball or 2. But right now, it's a weightless exercise, so you got to do it properly. Take your time, get the job done, okay? So the first one, you should write this in your notebook. The first one's T's. All right, you're going to stand straight, okay? You're going to pull your shoulders back, and your arms are just going to go up to the side of your body right here to a T. Okay, nice and slow and steady, not too high. 90 degrees out, straight down here. Okay, you go until you feel a slight burn in your shoulders, then you stop. That's called 1 set to fatigue. Okay, so the second one is going to be Y's, all right? Thumbs are going to be up here. We're going to go 45 degrees out at an angle, and we're going to get, you can see here to the side, we're going to get above the shoulder this time, but not too high. Okay, so right here. Okay, those are Y's. Okay, again, you're going to do 3 sets to fatigue. So 1 set is going until you feel a slight burn in your shoulders. Okay. The next one is W's. Okay. You can see my elbows down and my thumbs like I'm kind of hitchhiking here, or I'm saying you're out of here. And this one's kind of more of a pulsing, faster exercise. You can see me from the side. My elbows aren't away from my body and they're not moving. They're anchored in. And my hands are moving. My elbows are anchored, my hands are moving. That one gives you a nice burn pretty quickly if you do it correctly. And then the last one is called Statue of Liberty, okay? So you're gonna take both hands, you're gonna take one hand behind your back, you're gonna reach across your body with your palm up, okay? All right, we're gonna try to make a perfect diagonal line going across, up to this position with my palm still facing up, okay? Straight down and across. Try not to dip around this way. Try not to curve here. Straight, if you can see, almost like I'm making a spare sign for bowling. Okay? We'll do both arms, 3 to fatigue. Okay, so that's 4 exercises that we want you to do 3 to 5 times a week. With this COVID and you have downtime to do this stuff, this is a great time to really start getting a foundation for strength, so we can show you some real more advanced exercises, but these are good. Pros do these on every day, okay? And it's really important because if you want to throw hard, you can't break down. If you don't have a foundation of strength, you're going to break down faster. And there's all the medical people I've ever spoken to, there's no one too young to begin the base foundation of strength for rotator cuff. All right. All right, we're back here. We're going to talk about some hitting aspects now. I want you to write in your notebooks right now: grip, stance, load, and stride. Grip, stance, load, and stride. And these are going to be 4 concepts that are really basic concepts, but we got to do a better job of them. We talk about this on Monday. This is something building off of Monday. You got to see, a little bit what those older guys are already working on. And I can tell you guys right now, it's super important to be able to repeat this stuff, to be able to have it the same so we can build off of it. Fundamentals just means that. It's building blocks, but it's mostly done correctly and repetitively, okay? So like next time we have this on a Zoom, we'll be able to do some activities together, but these are 4 things I want you to work on in the meantime, and we want this kind of across the board. People might have slight differences, but us as coaches will help you with that as we go forward, okay? So the first one is our grip, okay? All right, I'm back here now so you can see my lower half. All right, so what we want to do here is set the bat down like we're golfing, okay? I want to grab the bat, let's zoom in here. I want to grab the baseball bat with my fingers only, okay? My fingers only, and then I'm going to wrap my hands around. Now I'm holding onto this bat with my fingers, okay? This is super important because we see a lot of hitters, okay? Once I pull my hands up, you'll see the knuckles on my hand, the knuckles on this hand are going to line up or be really close. The more these get out of line, if you watch my elbows move up, we call this a locked grip. So this is a looser grip, this is a tighter grip, and it does have nothing to do with how hard you're holding the bat, okay? It just has to do with loose versus tight, elbows, okay? So that's going to lead to where we want your elbows, all right? So that's a grip. Again, we're setting the bat down, we're grabbing the bat with our knuckles, and we're actually going to lift this up over our head. We're going to talk about that in a minute, okay? And we want these knuckles lined up. These knuckles and these knuckles, call them knocker knuckles. We want to line those up. Okay, so now we have our grip, okay? We found it by grabbing like a golf club, grabbing the bat and our thing. So actually this is something that can help you find a really good stance. Is once you're in this position, if you just take your wrist, okay? Let me show you. We're just going like this, okay? So it'd be like taking my wrist this way. This is the only direction our wrist should ever break as a hitter. So if we kind of cock them into that position and we turn them this way, like when they're hitting, it'll end up being like this. All right, so got my grip, cock my hands up. Be careful to not clunk yourself in the head with the bat. So here it is from this angle, and grab my grip. I'm gonna cock my wrist, the barrel's gonna come up right by my head, and now I'm just gonna go straight up. All right, and when I get in the batting stance, this is how we want our elbows, right? We want our grip. All right, it's a great way to find a really good basic stance. Golf stance, pop the barrel up, don't hit yourself in the face, and now bring the bat right over your shoulder, okay? And a good stance here because, okay, our elbows, we're gonna talk about this later, are gonna be connected to our body when we turn. They're gonna move together. So in the middle of my body's turning, this back elbow is gonna be locked in here, this elbow, these are gonna work together at the beginning of our swing, okay? They call this connection, all right? And that's why we like our youth hitters, and really all of our hitters, to start in a position where we're almost where we're gonna be connected, okay? This elbow's gonna be a little bit lower, this elbow's gonna be a little bit, maybe higher, but just kind of turned already into this position when we start our swing. We will, don't worry about that being advanced, because those things are going to be discussed with your player, you know, in a small group or with a coach one-on-one with them, okay? But right now we can work on these things knowing that we're pretty close. So again, golf grip, bring that barrel up, hand straight up, All right. Now you can't see my feet right now, but they are just wider than shoulder width apart for me. Okay. Sorry again with all my difficulties. I was supposed to have a person here to help me. That's all right, but we're gonna get it done. Okay. So my feet are a comfortable distance apart. My elbows are underneath my back, but my hands can be up by my cheek, by my shoulder, somewhere in here. Okay. And this is a good batting stance for me. Okay, I'm comfortable. All right, I got a little sway to my knees. My hips are just dancing a little bit, just nice and calm. When the pitcher begins to pitch, we're going to calm that down, and we're going to talk about going into a load. Okay, so let me set up for that. All right, we're back here, different angle. All right, a little wider view. So again, I grab my grip. I got up into this position that we like to hit from. My knees are slightly bent. Feet are a little bit wider than my shoulders, okay? I'm in a great position to hit. Now, when we talk about a load, we talk about moving our hips, is moving our weight, okay? Well, we want to load moving into our back hip, right? If you can see behind me, there's like a line on the wall, and when I start, you can see it, and then when I load, you can't see it, okay? All right, so the load is just gonna be a light movement into the back of my butt and my hip here. I'm gonna slide back into it. I'm not moving my head back. I'm not getting airborne doing one of these, okay? A load in my hip is simple. I'm just going. All right, I'm back and I'm talking now about that weight transfer, so now you can see my lower half, okay? If I move my hips and I'm just bending each knee going back and forth, all right? I'm moving my center of gravity. I don't need to be head here. I want my head to stay above my hips in athletic movements. So I'm doing this. So when I load, it's just one direction, right there, that one. Okay, and it's loading into that hip and into that butt, okay? So again, right here, I'm in a good comfortable stance. My feet are just wider than my shoulders. My arms are right. I'm taking that load right to here, okay? Now, from here, my hands are already where they want to be, but they're not completely loaded like back, okay? They're going to need to stay when I stride forward out of this. So here I go striding forward, right to there, okay? All right, now notice my weight's back to pretty much even, right? We don't want to sit on our back leg because then we become spinners. If I go stride out and I'm on my back leg and all I do is that, I spin and it affects my barrel path and all that stuff. So we don't want to do that. We want our weight to go back forward. So it went back to load. We want our weight to go back to the middle, okay, to create this forward energy because we're creating potential energy, okay? It's going from my back leg to my front leg, and when my front leg begins to go down and my hips begin to turn, that energy pushes up into a firm leg, and then it sends it up the kinetic chain, which is a movement of power. It's physics, okay? So again, I'm pushing from the back into my front. My front's gonna stop. I'm gonna stop moving forward, and I'm gonna turn, okay? That's gonna send energy right up. Now I know that's a lot of info. That's a physics class, and you guys are in 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever grade, okay? It's okay, it's okay. We simply want to practice moving back and moving forward just to there, right? Before we begin to turn. Now, turning is going to be in our next lesson. All right, we're going to talk about those turns later. But for now, you can see, okay, that we want you taking that load, we want you taking that stride. Just remember, think about your hands, all right, like you're getting ready to punch. So you're lowering your lower half and you're loading your shoulders. They happen at a little bit different times, right? I'm loading everybody together, but my hands aren't quite where they need to be. No, let me tell you this. They're where they need to be, but they're not loaded because my body's too far back. When I stride forward, they stay, and now they're loaded. But if you took a look at that without a bat, and I loaded just my hips, I'm still not ready to punch a guy in the face from right here until I step here and cock it back. All right, so again, it's two parts. Load my hip, stride back to 50-50, which means 50% of my weight on each leg, all right? And then load my hands and my shoulders back, and then load them more when I go to stride. All right, so everybody goes back together, my hands and my hips. Then when I stride forward, my hands stay back, and now I'm ready to go. All right, well, that's a lot in a video, okay? That's a lot of info, but you can watch it over. I don't think it's gonna be more than 10 minutes if you watch the whole thing. All right, so remember, 4 exercises with your shoulders. All right, I'm gonna put my bat down. T's, Y's, W's, Statue of Liberty. If you're advanced, 2nd or 3rd year, use a baseball in your hand. If you're not, nothing, okay? Your shoulders are gonna burn no matter what, and that's when we stop that's your body's tired and saying stop, that's where we're gonna stop the rep at. 3 times fatigue, okay? Now I wanna work on finding our grip. All right, up and over our shoulder like this, in a good stance. Okay, all right, good batting stance. My feet are just wider than my shoulders. My arms are up here. We don't want any. There's guys certainly who hit like this. We don't want it. It's a higher level movement. We want to relax the elbow and have our hands above my elbows underneath. Okay, when I get in my stance, video your stance. Video your stance, video your load. Here's my hip load, right? My shoulders are gonna load when I stride back forward, bam, right? Take a video of those. Right now, I don't want you to turn in any videos, but I want you to keep them, okay? Just take little clips, and we can see how much better we get at this over time. And coach might just ask you, I wanna see your video clips, okay? All right, thanks for hanging in there. No Zoom tonight. Next time we'll get in this and do some of this together, okay? And but I want you to watch this video. At least you have this video to keep. Don't delete it. Keep watching it. All right, guys. Have a good night.